In this video, we're going to cover code injection and how it relates to application security. So the first one that we're going to talk about is cross-site scripting. A cross-site scripting attack works like this. Let's say we had a web server, as you can see here, that has a vulnerable web page. All it takes is for an attacker to be able to upload a malicious script to this vulnerable web page, and then the server will then upload this malicious script to the database. The next time that the page is requested, it's going to load this malicious script back to the server. So for example, if this victim wanted to request data from the server, this page is going to then be rendered back to this user. So the user will then see this web page. Let's say that this web page required the user to enter in login credentials. They type in their login credentials and they can then see whatever they need to based on their login credentials. Additionally, since the user is interacting with a malicious script, unbeknownst to them, their credentials are being forwarded from the malicious script back to the attacker. So what I want you to do is try out one example on your own. So go to the code injection section on the server, specifically look for the stored cross-site scripting example, and then read and follow the page description. What we want to do is insert code that would execute a cross-site scripting attack. For those of you who have no knowledge of JavaScript, you're going to start with an open script tag and then close with a closing script tag, and then you're going to put your message in there. So just try to have a basic message of hello that's being displayed back to the user. Okay, so here's this page. Oh, and oh my goodness, look down here. Early access to the cybersecurity exam. Well, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and click on that and log in. So I need to put in my credentials, and I'll put in my password and log in. Oh wait, what? If this were a real attack, your credentials would have been stolen. Oh no, what should I do? Well, at that point, it's too late. All right, so we're going to show you how we could actually build one of these malicious scripts into this site. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just have a message, and we'll call this one hello, and I'm going to start with the script tag, and then I'll close with the script tag. And inside of this message, I'm going to have it just display a message that says hello to the user. All right, so here's the script. I go ahead and click submit. And it says I successfully executed a stored cross-site scripting attack. And if I click on the hello, you'll see that that message is displayed back to the user. What's interesting is we can also use it to display images. So this example is going to add to the message part of this page the image of Google. So I go ahead and click submit. And if I click on the Google image, sure enough, it loaded the Google image inside of this dialog. And to show you how easy this was to create this early access to the cybersecurity exam link, this is all the code that it took. So to just explain what is happening here, we have a script. The script is basically going to do 4 lines of code. This will indicate that we're just going to alert the message. At this point, the user would redirect the login credentials back to them. We created a form that would then interact with this script, and that's all it took. Now, a lot of web browsers don't allow users to enter in script. I actually had to manipulate this so that it would bypass this and actually submit a script. But we got to be cautious with cross-site scripting because any malicious code could potentially be inserted into this web page. All right, the next type of code injection is Ajax. Ajax allows content to be reloaded without having to reload the entire page. So as you interact with my web server, anything that loads when you change the drop down or type in a character is an example of Ajax calls that are taking place. So information is being retrieved from the server in the background. So it's going to issue calls to the database, return information from the database, or whatever is necessary. So what we're going to do is going to try to do a code injection. Again, this one is an Ajax injection. We're going to have you read and follow the page description. Try to use Zap to manipulate Ajax to return more than what the user is qualified to redeem. So they have a certain number of points, which they'll be able to redeem for certain items. We want to manipulate this to redeem more than what it would allow us to normally redeem. So go ahead and pause this video and try this on your own, and then come back to compare your answer. So here we are at the Ajax Injection page. As you can see, if I type in my number, which is 5376616, it will actually show me the points of 1500 and what I would be able to redeem. Notice that these points are much higher, and so there's no way that I'd be able to redeem those items. Just a fun fact, if you were to flip this upside down left to right, it would say giggles. All right, so let's go ahead and use Zap to be able to capture this, to be able to get more than what they would expect us to retrieve. So I'm going to delete one number, and then I'll come over to Zap. I'll hit this breakpoint again. I'll come back here and just type in that last number again. So now you can see that it jumps right into Zap. We can then step through and change the values as it comes through. So I'm going to hit this button rather than the play button, which is going to send everything through. I'm going to walk through and see what is requested to be able to change certain values. So here's the page that's going to be returned, and we can see all the items that are listed there. So let's go ahead and manipulate this to say, hey, we want to see more than that, just those items. So we're going to come and change this. Instead of a Ajax iPhone case, we'll just change this to a Surface Pro. We'll give this a name of Surface Pro, and this is for the Surface Pro. We will say Surface Pro for 650 points rather than 25,000. And then we'll go ahead and click this play icon. If we come back to the browser, we now see that the Surface Pro is an option. We'll go ahead and select this, hit submit, and it says that we've successfully ordered more than the points that we have available in our rewards account. Items will be shipped soon. All right, the next type of code injection is the command injection. This is a very dangerous injection because this basically allows the user to interact with the command prompt or the terminal and do any command that would be accepted in that based on the privileges of the application itself. For example, rm-rf here is going to remove, which is rm, all files recursively, and it's going to force them to be deleted without having some kind of confirmation. So if someone was able to run this command on a server, they would potentially be able to wipe everything on that server using a command injection. So let's have you try to do this on your own. So we're going to go back to code injection, specifically open up command injection, and then read and follow the page description. What I want you to try to do is manipulate the submission to return either a ping request, an IP config request, or a netstat request from the server. So here we are at the command injection page. Just to show you what happens, we have this menu where I can select certain pages and it will show us something such as I want to say to foobar, and then hello world. If I select this, it'll say hello to all you out in the world. What we want to do is manipulate this to be able to display more than what's happening here. So we'll go ahead and inspect this page. I'll click this picker tool. We'll select the foobar option. And then in this ID, I'm going to change this from foobar.php to foobar.php and then we'll do our ping request. So I'm going to ping google.com. We'll click outside of this, make sure that we have foobar selected, and then we're going to go ahead and click select here. And you can see that it actually ran a ping request against google.com, and we're able to see the information there. So again, I can come in here, do this editing again, and we're going to change foobar to IP config. Click outside of it, click select, and then we can see all the IP address information associated with this device.